every person lives and then dies. There's no exceptions. There's beginning and end to everything. So you do the best you can, and so be it. Feel like you're doing the right thing. I can sleep at night. Each person has to have their own solution. But if you have no solution, just lead a more simple life.
Yvon, let's start with about some environmental issues.
Okay?
Yeah. You have said some of the biggest environmental crises are the run-out waters and loss of topsoil and decline of insects in the rivers.
Yeah.
And as you are fly fisherman, why insects is so important in the river?
Well, it's not just rivers. You know, we have lost worldwide 70% of the winged insects in the world. This is very, it's more serious than losing water because they're the pollinators of the crops, you know. They go from crop to crop and pollinating. And so this is something that nobody talks about. I've seen two important studies that say we're going to lose 40% of our cold water fisheries by 2030. So another 4 years. We'll lose. It's happening very, very quickly.
I think one of the people you spoke with the most deeply about serious environmental issue like the disappearance of the insects was probably Doc Tompkins.
Yeah.
He was not only your best friend, but also climb partners.
Yeah.
But for me, that you and Doc have very different personalities.
That's right.
But how did the two of you become the best friends, even you guys have very different personalities?
Well, I mean, we started out together when he was 15. So mainly a friendship based around sports. But then I'm the one that was most concerned about the fate of the natural world. And then he came along and he became a fanatic. And his idea was to sell his company and use the money to create parks in Chile and Argentina. And he kept trying to get me to do the same, sell my company and do the same.
Oh, he asked that to you?
Yeah, but I said, no, I can do more good by keeping the company and using it as an example for other companies to follow. And then use our profits to help environmental causes. So that's where we had different philosophies.
Both you and Doug were deeply uncomfortable with the extreme wealth and greaseball businessmen.
Yeah.
But in the world, most people want to become rich. So why did you distrust riches so much?
Well, for me, having no money was a fun game to play. Really. To not be in society, but be on the edge and live off the fat. You know, I really enjoyed being not part of society, finding my own way. And yeah, I still enjoy that. I still enjoy breaking the rules and making it work.
Don't like a.
And Doug was the same.
So if you have some opportunity to speak honestly and directly today's billionaires, what would you say to them, the today's billionaires?
Oh, I wouldn't talk to them. I just go. No, I wouldn't shake hands with them or anything. No, they're hopeless. You're not going to change these people, right? They're not going to change. So why bother with them? They're the worst people. They're really the worst. They have nothing to do with nature. Nothing. Yeah. They want to go to the moon, to Mars. They're serious.
Yeah.
They're absolutely serious. They want to give up on the earth and go to Mars. There's nothing you can do with these people. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Let's move on the best quality. you always said we have to make a best quality product. Why is making the best quality is so important to you?
Well, people ask me what they can do personally to help our planet, our home planet. But people don't know where to start. But you can start in your own personal life by consuming less. I mean, it's okay to have people on the planet, but it's not okay to be consuming 7 times more than what the planet can provide, you know? So what we all have to do is consume less, but consume better. So I believe in owning few things, but the best that you can buy. Buy the best and have them for the rest of your life. And I think that's the most responsible way to live. And, you know, it's okay to eat meat, but just cut back. Everybody can do this.
Yeah. But you mentioned the best quality, and you are the craftsman trying to your best to make a best product, best climbing gears in the world. And so you said that you are innovators, not inventors.
Yeah.
As your view of innovators, what is the hardest part of truly achieving the best quality?
The hardest part?
Hardest part to achieving best quality?
Well, first of all, if you're going to make, let's say, you're going to make a pair of climbing shoes, okay?
Yeah.
First of all, many people make climbing shoes.
Yeah.
So who makes the best now?
Yeah.
So now you have to find out who that is and which ones are the best and make those better. The hardest thing I have with my own people in Ventura is getting them to look around the world and find out who is making the best, whatever it is. They need to travel and not fool themselves that we are making the best. And you know, if you want to be the best company, you have to constantly be very critical. You have to push if you want to do the best quality. You can never say, okay, we did it. We got the best pair of waders. Now we can sit back and no, you can't do that. Change. And
throughout our history, sometimes can come with a fear of failure, but you never seemed afraid of that. Where does confidence come from?
Actually, I'm afraid now.
You're afraid?
No, that's why I'm working twice as hard, because the way we ran the company for the last 54 years is not the way for the future. We have to change a lot because the whole world has changed. In a company, if the company doesn't change, it goes bankrupt. That's why your average American corporation only exists for 18 years. Then they go bankrupt because they don't change.
It's our last question. You have had more near-death experience than most people.
Yeah.
What did those moments teach you?
He asked me one day, you know, they say a cat has 9 lives, right?
A cat has 9 lives, yeah.
Yeah, he said, how many of your 9 lives do you have left? And I said, I don't know. The next day I was sitting in bed thinking, and I came up to 17. 17 near-death experiences. And this isn't just a broken bone or something. This is near death.
Yeah. You had a lot of avalanches.
3 avalanches. And so, but I learned from each one. And I learned one avalanche where my friend died next to me. Another friend broke his back. Rick Ridgway was beat up. I had broken ribs. And it was a long 500-meter fall.
In Himalaya.
Yeah, in the avalanche.
Yeah.
So I thought I was dead. But from that, I learned not to be afraid of dying.
Do you have any messages for Korean audiences who were watching these videos?
I don't know how to answer that. I'm very reluctant to tell people what to do, and I don't like people telling me what to do. But if they ask for advice, like, what can I do to to help save the planet, then I tell them, well, each person has to have their own solution. But if you have no solution, just lead a more simple life. And a more simple life is not a more difficult life at all. It's much more gratifying. Feel like you're doing the right thing. I can sleep at night. There's a beginning and end to everything, right? So there's a beginning to every company. Every person lives and then dies. There are no exceptions. So why should there be every species goes extinct at some point? Everyone. You do the best you can, and so be it.
Can you just slowly stand up and